So I'm here with Anders from Radius, and Anders, you want to tell us a little bit about your background and how you came to work at Radius?
Sure. So my name is Anders Brownworth. I got into the crypto ecosystem pretty early on. I started working with a company called Circle, and it's actually in town, and I built a lot of their back-end systems and some of the stuff that they were, some of the more forward-thinking projects that they were working on. One of them, called USDC, kind of took off, and now that's kind of all Circle does. So USDC is a dollar on the internet. It's a stable coin. It's the second largest stable coin in the world. And USDC is this, just this experiment. Well, initially it was an experiment, so obviously a big project now, but initially it was an experiment to see, like, can we make a dollar work, kind of like a regulated dollar work on the internet? And so I thought that was really interesting, and I dug into that. But then after that, I got to kind of thinking, what about, like, the internet is pretty big, and there's like the customers of the dollar are a lot, and what is the chance that 8 billion people who could have a dollar are able to transact this on a public permissionless blockchain like Ethereum? Give you a little idea, Ethereum goes like 25, 27 transactions a second. Maybe you need a little bit more than that. There are other projects out there that kind of push the ball for it, but let's really turn it way up, like to make something work for the whole world. So I joined the Federal Reserve, and we started this project that tries to put a digital dollar on the internet in a more centralized context, and we're able to get past that 27 transactions a second to into the millions of transactions per second.
Okay.
That project, which was a coordinated effort between the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston and MIT, gave rise to this open source project called OpenCBDC. One of the outputs of that is a version called Parsec, which does smart contract processing at those levels, at very, very high rates. So when I left the Federal Reserve, basically I got together with a few people that, from the Federal Reserve that have now moved on to MIT, and now we're building Radius, and Radius is a productionalization of that. So that's a long story, a lot of things. I apologize, but like that gives you the progression.
Yeah, it's nice to know a little bit about the context and the background. And what is the mission of Radius? Like, why does Radius exist?
Yeah, Radius exists because, sort of I was hinting at it, there is no way that you can do as many transactions as you will need in, across the entire world for everything. At this point, there's probably enough to reach the rate at which US dollar payments are done in the world, but it says nothing about like where it's going. If you have IoT devices that have budgets and they're able to pay, or if you have AI agents and they're able to each have wallets and be able to pay for the access that they need, like 100,000 transactions a second, which right now is enough for humans doing dollar-based transactions. That's just not enough for the future. We're into the billions and trillions of transactions per day. You just it's not practical on a public permissionless blockchain.
Yeah. So maybe to just back up a little bit, like right now we have humans transacting, using credit cards, and there's a lot of transactions, right? But what you're envisioning is a future where there's agents that are doing things on behalf of humans, and there could be billions or trillions of these agents. And if they're transacting, the current transactional system just doesn't scale, or it's not going to be able to handle the sheer number of transactions that are necessary.
So let's take it apart. If I'm going to have an AI purchase a flight for me or whatever, that's essentially taking what would have been a human decided payment and moving over to an AI. That's not what I'm talking about. An AI buying that flight, yeah, fine, okay. But like, it's in order to do that, there's probably 10 things it's got to do. It's got to go to this thing, find out what the weather is, go there, find this out, whatever. A lot of those data sources are available, but some might not be. You can, one example I like to use is sports scores. It's, actually kind of hard to get. You can get it, but it's going to be very delayed. And if you need that real time, like if you're working in a market that requires that, you're going to want to buy that. An AI is going to want to buy that to get some higher aim. It needs that and many other things. So purchasing data like that, purchasing compute, possibly doing other interactions with other agents, they may decide that you have to pay in this way or whatever. And so one thing that you might do as a human is probably 10 or maybe a lot more transactions. So the number of transactions is just really not in the right scale. It's got to be far higher.
Yeah. So what makes Radius what equips you, or how are you positioned in the market to be this future transactional layer that is necessary?
Yeah, so I don't think agents are going to get a Bank of America account.
Most likely not.
Probably not. Well, so what are they going to use? They're probably going to use cryptocurrencies because it is the money of the internet.
Yeah.
So great, they're also completely agnostic. There's no religion about it. They're like, you know what? I just need to use whatever is fastest and cheapest. And so that's what they're going to go for. Obviously, it has to be secure, but fastest and cheapest. So they're going to go for in my opinion, a cryptocurrency that supplies that. So what we've done is architected a system that is 100% compatible with the Ethereum ecosystem. So if you take a contract, a smart contract written for the Ethereum layer 1 and take it unmodified and stick it on our system, it'll work. But we're able to scale that into the millions of transactions per second. So that's the strategy.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are you tied to Ethereum, or could you use any crypto?
At this point, the only thing that we've deployed is an Ethereum virtual machine. However, the Parsec project deployed others. We are able to deploy, the SVM or Move or any other kind of thing. We're a virtual machine runner. We happen to only execute the EVM right now, but we could have others. A cool thing about that, by the way, is if you do something with Ethereum and you update the state with Ethereum, you say this account has $100, whatever it is, you can actually use a VM running in a completely different, using a completely different technology and also access that same state at the same time. So it could be pretty interesting, and where that's interesting is like you might use smart contracts and wallets and this kind of thing in a more complex kind of financial context. But when you're using something offline, you want to use that same money, but in a, as just like bills, very, very simply. So you could do that. You could have a virtual machine that runs that way and a virtual machine that exists already that runs Ethereum. So it could be neat.
Okay, so we're here at the Sundai Hack Day, and you guys are here sponsoring and presenting your tech. What are you hoping to get out of the Sundai Hack Day, or what are some of the hacks that you're excited to see later today? Mostly
I'm interested in ideas. So far, what I've seen has been, some great ideas and kind of directions that we hadn't even thought about going. I'm most interested to see people go with that and, actually implement some of these things. Because a lot of these things, for us have just been ideas. We've been building the core system, not the thing that uses it.
Right, the applied stuff.
So, yeah, having the applied stuff is very, very compelling.
Yeah. Okay. So if people want to learn more about Radius, where can they find you?
They can go to radiustech.xyz, or you can, we have a bunch of SDKs on GitHub, that's in Radius Technology Systems. And yeah, just kind of find us and interact. We have a testnet that's running now that you can sign up for. It's private right now, but if you nudge us, I'm sure we'll probably let you in, give it a try.
All right, cool. Well, we're excited to see what people build today, and thanks very much for your time on ours.
As am I. Thank you.
All right.